The Sahara Desert stretches over 3.6 million square miles, an ocean of sand, rock, and mystery. But it wasn't always this barren. Once, this land bloomed with rivers, forests, even hippos. Today, it's the harshest desert on Earth, where temperatures soar beyond 120 degrees F. Yet people still live here, thriving, adapting, and holding on to stories carved by the wind. What secrets lie beneath these endless waves of sand? Ameen has lived in the desert his entire life. He doesn't see emptiness. He sees trails, signs, and memories left in the sand. To outsiders, the Sahara is silent. To Ameen, it's a book written by wind and sun. Every dune shift whispers a story, if you know how to listen. The Sahara isn't just endless dunes. Only about 25% of it is covered by sand seas. The rest, plateaus, gravel plains, salt flats, and volcanic rock. It's more diverse than most imagine, a complex terrain sculpted by time. Understanding its geography means seeing beyond the mirage. Despite its brutal climate, the Sahara is home to over 2 million people. Nomadic tribes like the Tuareg and Bedouin have mastered desert survival. They travel with the stars, follow the winds, and live in sync with scarcity. Their lives are not easy, but filled with rhythm, resilience, and ancient knowledge. Here, survival is not just a necessity, it's a heritage. Hidden in the vast emptiness are oases, life-giving pockets of green. They've supported trade, culture, and civilization for millennia. Ameen remembers his first visit to the Siwa Oasis. Palm trees swayed over freshwater pools, and laughter echoed through mud-brick villages. To find water here is to find a miracle, and protect it like gold. In the Sahara, the sun is not just a light source, it's a force of nature. It blazes down relentlessly, baking the earth and bleaching bones white. At noon, the air shimmers like liquid, distorting everything it touches. To Ameen, the sun is a compass, a clock, and sometimes a warning. In this desert, light can be both a guide and a threat. Centuries ago, camel caravans crisscrossed the Sahara like arteries through a body. They carried salt, gold, and stories, connecting Timbuktu to Cairo, Marrakesh to Mecca. Ameen's grandfather once walked with these traders, reciting poetry under moonlight. Their trails, worn into the earth, still whisper under the feet of modern nomads. Each step echoes history. In the Sahara, danger doesn't always arrive with sound. Sandstorms can rise in seconds, walls of dust swallowing sky and sun. Ameen remembers one that turned day into night in minutes. He wrapped his turban tight, held his camel's reins, and walked blind for hours. Out here, surviving a storm is as much instinct as strength. When the sun sets, the Sahara transforms. The temperature drops fast, heat fleeing into the stars. Silence deepens, then the desert breathes. Owls call, insects stir, and camels groan gently in the dark. To Ameen, night is when the desert truly speaks, with no heat to mask its voice. The Sahara crosses 11 countries, yet it belongs to no one. Its borders are drawn by wind, not by governments. Ameen knows the desert cares little for maps. He follows ancient routes passed down through generations, not GPS. To survive here is to trust your senses and remember the old paths. Beneath these dunes lie secrets older than civilization. Fossils of whales, crocodiles, even human ancestors have been unearthed here. Once this was a sea, and before that, a lush savanna. The Sahara is not just dry land, it's Earth's forgotten library. And each gust of wind turns a new page in its ancient history. The wind in the Sahara speaks with different voices. It sculpts dunes, sweeps away footprints, and carries stories across miles. Some winds are soft like a lullaby, others, like the Ghibli, roar with rage. Ameen listens carefully. He knows which winds bring calm and which bring chaos. To him, the desert wind is both messenger and omen. In the desert, trust is everything. Ameen's caravan follows unwritten rules: hospitality, loyalty, and silence when needed. They share water without question. They walk in rhythm. They protect each other's backs. Each journey is a contract not signed on paper, but sealed in survival. Break it, and the Sahara will remind you why trust matters most. At night, the dunes sing. Wind flows through sand crests, creating deep, vibrating hums, like the earth breathing. Some call it the booming dunes. Others think it's spirits speaking. Ameen just listens, eyes closed. In the Sahara, even silence has sound. Ameen once chased a lake that shimmered in the distance. He walked for hours, believing in its cool promise. When he reached it, nothing, just hot air and heartbreak. But years later, he returned to that spot and found water. The desert doesn't always lie. Sometimes it remembers. The Sahara has no patience for arrogance. Ameen learned this as a boy, when he ignored his father's advice and wandered off-path. He was lost for hours, disoriented by dunes that all looked the same. Only when he surrendered to the silence did he remember the sun's angle and find his way back. Out here, humility is survival. One of the Sahara's oldest trades is salt. For centuries, caravans hauled giant slabs across the desert on camelback. Some routes still bear bleached bones, proof of those who never made it. Ameen once followed the salt road to Tuareg, where miners dig by hand under the brutal sun. Salt here isn't just seasoning, it's currency, memory, and pain. Where water flows, life blooms, and trade follows. In Oases towns like Ghat or Gadames, markets burst with colors, spices, fabrics. Ameen often stops to barter dates, leather, or stories. He never buys much, but he always listens. Each stall is a portal to another tribe, another path through the dunes. To outsiders, Ameen's indigo robes are just tradition. But in the Sahara, clothing is survival. Loose layers keep heat out and cool air in. The dark dye repels sun and insects. Each fold, each wrap, is precise, purposeful. His turban isn't fashion, it's armor. In the Sahara, time slows down. The wind repeats its rhythm, the sun its arc. Days blend together, like dunes shifting subtly but endlessly. Ameen doesn't wear a watch. He reads shadows, tastes the air. Here, time isn't measured by hours, but by survival. Out here, belief is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Ameen prays 5 times a day, no matter the heat, the wind, or the sand. Each prayer is a pause in the vastness, a moment of grounding. He draws his compass from the stars and his peace from within. In a land of extremes, faith becomes shelter. Without city lights, the Sahara sky comes alive. Ameen can read constellations like maps, charting his course across the night. The North Star is his guide, Orion his companion. Each twinkle tells him where he's been and where to go next. In the silence of stars, he finds direction and calm. Rain is so rare in the Sahara, people celebrate when clouds gather. Ameen remembers one summer, dark skies rolled in, and the desert held its breath. When drops finally fell, children ran barefoot, shouting through the storm. Puddles formed like treasures. Even the camels looked surprised. Water here is never taken for granted. It's a blessing, not a forecast. Sometimes, Ameen walks where no footprints stay. But he feels presence of travelers who came before, of ancestors who still guide him. He's never truly alone. Each ridge, each breeze carries memory. The Sahara may erase your steps, but not your story. Ameen doesn't know why he keeps returning. Maybe it's the silence, maybe it's the challenge. Or maybe The desert chose him. He once tried living in the city, traffic, concrete noise. But the dunes called him back, whispering a language only his heart could hear. Buried beneath sand lie the ruins of forgotten cities. The Sahara once hosted empires, Garamantes, Ghana, Mali, now swallowed by time. Ameen walks past crumbled stones without signs, but full of stories. He sees what others miss, echoes of kings, traders, and poets. The desert may erase walls, but it remembers greatness. In the oases and camps, children laugh, run, and learn the desert's rhythm. Ameen teaches them to read stars, to listen to wind, to respect water. He sees himself in their eyes, curious, fearless, full of questions. They are the next memory keepers, the ones who will walk after he's gone. Ameen carries no paper map. He doesn't need one. Every dune, star, and shadow is part of a map etched into memory. He walks by instinct, by rhythm, by inherited wisdom. Even blindfolded, he could find the nearest well. The desert trusts those who trust it back. There's a place where desert meets green, where dust gives way to roots. Ameen stands at the edge, looking back at the world of sand. Most turn away from the Sahara. He always returns. Because some souls belong not to cities or forests, but to the silence between dunes. The Sahara gave Ameen no comfort, but it gave him everything else. Wisdom, silence, purpose. He walks onward, not to reach an end, but because the journey itself is home. And now it's your turn to listen to the winds, to chase the stars. Subscribe and continue this journey across the sands.